Hey YouTube land, Tech Anders there, coming back at you with another action figure review, and today is something that is new for 2026, and this is the Batman, the Mattel DC license. This is some of their first stuff. Now, I'm going to get into how I picked this up and my major gripe with the way of getting this, but that is for a little bit later. For the moment, this is the Robin cycle with Robin figures, so it is nice that you actually get a figure and vehicle set. This is a vehicle and figure combo set. It's already been removed from packaging, so we'll just have a quick look at the box and then I'll set up for having a look at the bike and figure itself. So you have the name of the thing at the front here. So it is the Robin motorcycle. You have an image of what it does, flipping around the back of the box. There's not much of a write-up. It just says super villains, super criminals, super villains. They wreak havoc across DC universe, and that's it. Everything else is in multiple languages. And then it's just an image of the bike. A little feature of it, that it rolls, it fires missiles, and it can combine with the Batmobile. And if you have, I believe, these things here are from Batman, this throwing disc looking thing, it can combine with that and you can put those onto it. There's ports on it for stuff that you can plug in, bits and bobs, but we'll get into that in a second. So not much for the packaging. You got just all the legalese stuff and how to fire the missile thing underneath. It is quite nice packaging. You have an image of Robin up there in the corner. It's not bad. Oh, and you also have the Robin logo on one side as opposed to Batman's logo. But it is the red cycle or the Robin cycle or whatever way you want to call the thing. But for now, it is what we're going to review. So I'm going to pause here and we'll get into the vehicle itself. So here you have Robin and the bike outside the packaging, and we are going to move Robin off for the moment. We'll get into him in a little bit. I'll just move him off the side. We'll have a look at the bike first. So doing a 360 spin of the bike because I don't have an actual rotating turntable. It's a fairly nice bike. It's done in a gunmetal grey silver. You have a sticker. I believe these are stickers here on either side. There's very limited stickers. It would have been nice if there was a sticker here for the display, and I'm not sure if you can see that, but there's a monitor display just inside the canopy piece here. It's a fairly wide chunky bike, and it does have an action feature. Now I wish, this is one of my many gripes of the bike. I'll have to see if I can do it this way. I will try and roll it and see if you can see that. But if you roll the wheels, this tri-blaster cannon on the top fires off the missiles that are in here. You get 3 of these missiles. They are separate in the packaging. So just be wary they could go shooting off depending on how it is set up. So it is one of my minor gripes about this thing, in the sense that it's a cool feature. I just wish there was an option where you could actually, maybe a switch or something on it. I have not found one. Maybe there is. I could be wrong. But it would be nice if there was a switch that you could turn off the mechanism so it doesn't fire them out every time you cycle it. Because it'll just keep rotating and then the missiles will be gone. Although, I suppose, if I just take them out, I mean, you could have it like that. It doesn't look too bad with the missiles out. Like you can see, it's like a tri-blaster barrel type thing, but it's not too bad. You have an orange, clear orangey yellow, or sorry, orange yellow plastic visor for the canopy piece, and you got red. It reminds me a bit of Kaneda's bike from Akira. It's that really low down bike. It has big chunky wheels. There is, I'm not sure if you can see it, just in here on this side is the mechanism for spinning the barrel. There's like a cog, so it's intended that when you run the wheel it rotates this and fires. There is on the back here, this exhaust, there's double exhausts, but on this one you can see it looks like it clips, and I believe this is where it clips into the Batmobile, because it does combine. This wave or this line has a lot of combination gimmick stuff going on, because you can see here underneath there's clips that you plug in those bits off the Batarang or whatever it is, like the spinning ninja star. There's 2 on either side, so there's 4 in total, and then there's another one up here, so you can probably put like a bat wing kind of style wing on the back of it. So it depends on what stuff clips into it and what you can get. As I said, that's one of my bones of contention, is the fact that I got this from Smyths. The only 2 things they have from the line so far that I can see on their website, and it's not the old Spinmaster line stuff, is this Batcycle and the Batmobile. They have not listed, and they don't seem to be listing any of the figures. So the only way to get a figure that's compatible for the Batmobile is to get this set, so you have a Robin figure but nothing else, which is disappointing to say the least. There is a figure set that they have on their site. It's like a 6-pack figure set, but it's not this figure design, and it's not Mattel, it's the Spinmaster one that's currently available. So, well, at the time of this recording, so they don't have any other Mattel DC figures yet. I'm hoping that might change, but I might have to go another route and get them from like Amazon, even though Amazon themselves are fairly, Amazon IE, that is, it seems to be fairly sparse getting stuff as well, which is kind of annoying. I've seen people in the States getting hauls of nearly everything from Wave 1, which includes Batman, Joker. There's another version of Robin with his more traditional green uniform, and then there's 2 packs that have been announced, which are like Batman versus Man-Bat, and I think there's a Mr. Freeze versus Batman set as well, or it's Man-Bat versus Nightwing or Robin or someone along those lines. Anyway, we're going to wrap up the bike here. The figure can fit pretty nicely on it, as you saw when I took him off. Or actually, I'll put him onto it so you can see how he fits. Now, what's interesting is the figure's legs can splay out, so it does help him getting in because his feet are hidden in behind this cowling, and he can hold the handlebars. The handlebars are quite low down, so he can hold the handlebars quite nicely, and he fits quite snug on the seat. So we are back with the figure. The figure does not come with any accessories, except his utility belt is actually a separate piece. It is interesting, it was slightly off point on the figure when I got it, but you can see it has the kind of a designated belt clip, so that is the way it's supposed to be. So for sizing, I'll get in Mr. Tape Measure. Hopefully I'm not blocking the camera, so I'm just going to open it up and put it next to him. So he does stand around just around 6 inches in height, which is where I want to bring in some previous figures just to do the comparisons before I do the articulation. So here is one of the previous Mattel Batman Wave Robins. I don't know if it's based on the Damian Wayne style Robin. It could be. I'm not sure which Robin this is based on as well. This is Nightwing that they did from this particular line. This was the Batman Missions line. I think that was the last line they did for DC before Spin Masters took over the license, and then they went. They've gotten the license back this year. So you can see some of the kind of articulation points still hold over, but they went and redid the tooling for the legs, which is one of the best things they could have done. So we'll move these guys aside for the moment, and we will get into this guy's articulation. So his arms are on shoulder joints, so you can rotate out to the side and do the T-pose and rotate all the way around. He doesn't get his padding or armor doesn't get in the way of his articulation, which is pretty good. His head is on an amazing ball joint, so you get some great range of movement on his head. He has a single jointed elbow with a swivel. You have swivel in the wrist and a hinge in the wrist, so depending on what weapon you give him. Unfortunately, as I said, he doesn't come with any, but he should be able to hold most things two-handed, or at least get a good grip on most things. He does have a waist swivel. It is hidden by his belt, If I kind of squish the belt up a bit, you can see it's just a basic waist swivel. It's not a ball joint or anything like that. The other guys had a waist cut as well. They didn't have the kind of dumbbell ball joint type thing. His legs can do the splits that much, which is really, really good. He has a thigh swivel, which is something the previous figures did not have. The other figures just had a forward and back on the hip. They didn't have the side split, which really makes a difference for the bike. I'll get into that in a second when I bring back the bike in. He has double knee joints, so he can get way over 90 degree. And then there is a boot swivel, which is quite nice as well. It's not a rocker or anything like that, but it is a boot swivel. He has a peg hole on the back of his feet for both feet. There is a hole on the back of his cape. His cape is the one thing I'm not a big fan of. It's not a full cape. As you can see, it only goes down to the back of his knee. Whereas if I bring in the previous Robin figure, they did a full length cape. It goes all the way down to his feet. If I just push him back a bit, you can see what I mean. This guy, does he have the hole on the back? He does not. Some of the figures had a hole on the back, just like this Robin did for like accessories. But he's pretty much a really cool rendition of Robin. I've never been a big fan of Robin, to be fair. Like the original 60s style Robin looked hilarious. So I'm going to fit Robin back on his bike. On your bike. So you can see how he fits. Now I'm just going to pause here for a second and I'm going to zoom out a bit. We're going to have a look at the two of them on the bike and I can show you where it kind of fails on. So here again is Robin yet again on the cycle, and just in case you were wondering, so I'm going to take him back out, he does fit quite nicely, as I said, but in case you were wondering, can this older version Robin, because there is a few people that probably still have this figure, me, myself included, you can see the articulation on this one is kind of similar with the joints and stuff, and the rotation, but it's the hips is what killed him. He doesn't have the hips that go out the side. Can he fit on the bike? It barely fit on the bike. You have to squish him onto it. He doesn't really fit too well because his hips are being splayed out by this bar that's in front, which is why the new figure is so much better. This piece is fairly wide here, so in order for him to fit into it, you'd have to splay the legs out. And that doesn't really work with this hip because they're probably going to break it. So if you want to know if this guy can fit in that bike, answer is no. That would go the same with the Nightwing figure. You will not get him onto that bike, which is a bit of a shame. And then for kind of a role reversal, I do have this. It's a bit dusty. This is one of the older Mattel, I believe it's Mattel. I've been trying to figure out, yeah, Mattel 2012. So this is, I believe, around the same time when that Batman line came out. There was a couple of Batmobiles for it. This was designed in conjunction for the 6-inch figures. Can this Robin fit in the Batmobile? He should, because he has the articulation too. And he does. Again, it's very dusty. I haven't cleaned it in a while, but you can see he fits in it nicely. So if you have the Batman from this line, he probably should fit this Batmobile quite nicely. But it is quite nice. So moving that out of the way, we're going to do a quick comparison of other figures that should be in scale. So we'll get good old Robin back in, and we're going to, because I have a lot of stuff handy that I had reviewed recently. In fact, my last review, I put this up in conjunction. You can see this is the Marvel Legends figure. He is around the same size and height as a Marvel Legends. We have a Valverse. Is it Valverse? I can never remember if it's Valaverse or Valverse or Vala. I'm pretty sure it's Valaverse. But this is one of the Action Force figures. You can see he is about right size as well. I'm just going to ever so slightly move my camera up just so you get his head is a little bit more not cut off, but you can see the height, he does fit quite nicely. The Red Shadow figure that not the one that I reviewed recently, but one of the figures from that, and then we'll move good old this guy out of the way and bring in Cobra Commander, because I had them all recently in a review, so you can see how big the classified figures fit with these guys. So they are about classified scale. They don't look too cartoony. Some of the previous ones, like the old Batman Mission stuff, looked very cartoony, and it can work depending on what you're going for. And I'm going to bring in one other figure that I have right beside me, who I didn't have when I was doing the other review, and it should be in scale. I'll even get him to stand. I'm popping him in at the back here. This is not a G.I. Joe figure, and not a Valverse, this is a Leonard Toys? No, he's just stabbed that guy in the back. But it is the Predator. I can't remember if it was it Warrior Predator, I think his name was. Pick you back up. So you can see them all together. So if you have one of those Predator figures, it'll look pretty cool against these Batman. I think that it's more of a DC than just Batman, because there is going to be more DC figures than just Batman in it, and his villain, because I think they made a Superman and there's a Flash figure as well, so it's going to be DC across the board of different figures. So I'm looking forward to seeing if they do a Solomon Grundy and maybe Gorilla Grodd and a few other kind of more known characters in that respect, and maybe a General Zod, because I don't. There they all go. So before everyone gets knocked over and taken out by Predator, I'm just going to wrap this up here. Really good figure. Not bad on the pricing. The basic figures I think are around €15, or at least should be around €15. They haven't released them over here yet, so they should be around the €15 mark, maybe a bit more. The bike set was it's 29, so it was like you get a bike and a figure. The Batmobile is around 50, so the pricing does vary. I do like this line so far. I'm hoping I can get some of the basic figures. The Joker figure looks really good. I've seen a couple of people reviewing it, and it looks really, really good. I was saying that I would imagine they will do a Harley Quinn, and they might knock it out of the park for her as well. So I'm going to wrap this up here, because otherwise I'll just end up waffling about figures I would love to see, and that list could go on forever. Good figure. I'll put a link in the description below from the Smyths website from where I got it. If you can pick it up, I do recommend it. As I said, my only main gripes of the bike itself, actually I'll just bring the bike back in. My main gripe of the bike itself, not really the bike design, it's just having the missiles in it. You can't roll the front wheel freely without having the missiles firing out every time. It would be nice if there was a little switch or a lever that you could just switch off the mechanism, so the thing would rotate, but the spring wouldn't activate the missile launch. But other than that, I think the bike looks pretty cool, and it could be very nicely customized into other stuff as well. So there you go, guys. Hope you enjoy this review. As always, please hit the like, comment, subscribe. Every like does really boost my channel, and I do appreciate it. And if you like comments, I will try and get back to you on it. And well, subscribe is self-explanatory, and share the video if you care to as well. So cheers, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy watching this wherever you are in the world. Thanks.